So in this video, we're going to return a value from a function. So in the past, we've created our function, we've called a function, we've even passed in parameters to a function. And now in this video, we're going to return a value from a function. So I'm just going to go and use the keyword to create my function, def, and I'm just going to call it my fun, short for my function, and put in my round brackets, and this is going to take in a number. And so I'm just going to call this num, and after this I'm going to put my colon. I'm going to leave this function blank for the moment, but I'm going to just put in this keyword return. So I'm going to leave that there, and then I'm going to skip down a couple of lines, and then I'm going to call my function. So I need to go and pass in a number into this function, right? So I could pass in the number 30, and now what I want to do is I want to manipulate this number somehow. So when I call my function, this number here, which is 30, is going to be passed in here, and it's going to be called num. So inside this function, num is going to be 30. So I want to do something. So I'm going to say new num, and I'm going to set this equal to my num that I've passed in, which is going to be 30, and I'm just going to divide it by 2. So for example, in this case, 30 is going to get divided by 2, which is going to equal 15, and then I want to return that. So I want to return this new num, because this new num is going to be 30 divided by 2, which is 15. So it's going to be half of whatever my num is. And then I want to go and print out this returned value. So if I wanted to, what I could do is something like this. So I could say print, and then I could put in this variable here. So I could put in new num, and this would work. So if I run this, I can see that my new number is 15.0. So that's fine. But if I was outside here, so if I wanted to print out this number here underneath my function, so I'm going to delete this for the minute, and I'm going to paste it in underneath this, and I go and try and run this, we get an error because it doesn't understand what new num is, because new num only exists in this function, and outside this function new num does not exist. So to get around this, we're going to delete this for a minute just to run this function and make sure that it actually works, or at least it doesn't throw an error, and it doesn't, but we don't get anything displayed. So to get something displayed, we need to print out this thing here. So when we call this function, this is what we want to print out, because we're getting a returned value when we call this. So to do this, we can just say print, and we can put our round brackets around my function and 30. And if I run this, we can now see 15. And if I was to change this 30 to something else like 45, then we get our new output as 22.5, or if it was 99, and I was to run this again, we'd get the answer as 49.5.